friends, I have a story for you all. Y'all. Who am I kidding? I say y'all. Anyway, I have quite the story. So, like I was talking about in my last video, Mike and Allie bought a house and it is so cute. And so I went up to their housewarming party a couple of weekends ago. And so I had driven myself in my cute little Volkswagen Beetle. And Mom and Dad had ridden up in Dad's pickup truck. So it was time to leave. And Mom was going to ride home with me in the Bug. And so Dad was in front of us in the truck. Okay, so let's just set the scene. And then we were in a car accident, and not a minor one. Like, it was kind of a big ordeal. So what happened was, Dad was in front of us, and before I go any further, we're all fine. I mean, you'll hear more about it, but obviously I am in one piece. You know, no part of me is bleeding or broken or whatnot. But I will insert now some pictures of the car because sadly my little Volkswagen Beetle is totaled. Don't worry, there's not like blood and guts or whatever, well, because there wasn't any blood and guts. But I will put them in here so you can kind of see what happened to the poor little Bug. And then I will tell you the story. So insert pictures of the Bug. Let's take a minute. Anyway, so now you've seen the Bug. What happened was Dad stopped at a stoplight. He was in front of us. And then I came up behind him and stopped at the stoplight. And this was the first stoplight out of Michael and Allie's house. You know, like, we turned right out of our parking spots and went maybe 20 feet away from their house and then stopped at the first stoplight. So we did that, and somebody rear ends us. Okay, so the Bug is pushed a little bit and we bump into the truck. Okay, I'm thinking, all right, you know, not a big thing, this kind of stuff happens, whatever. So Mom says, you know, we're kind of gathering ourselves, and Mom says, we need to get your father, make sure that he felt it, because he's in the big truck, that thing's like a tank, make sure that he felt it and that he stopped so that he can help us, you know, whatever we need to do. Okay, so that's fine. So Mom goes to get out of the car, and I'm sort of gathering my things, and because I was checking to make sure that there wasn't anybody coming, because Mom was right next to the curb, and I was sort of checking, so I was still in the car, belted in, and all of a sudden we're hit again, much harder, so what happened, the woman, after hitting us the first time, instead of stopping like a normal person, getting out, making sure we're okay, she tries to flee the scene. So she reverses, ends up backing into the car behind her that had stopped way far away, floors it, and smashes into us again because she loses control of her car. So great. So at this point I'm panicking. I get out of the car and I'm screaming, and this woman who was on the sidewalk said, no, come here, you know, like, you're in the middle of the road, this isn't good, you need to come here. So we did that, and the woman was still trying to, and at this point, you know, the Bug is smashed up. It's almost, the front end of the Bug is almost underneath the truck on the corner, you know, at the corner of it, and the woman is still trying to back her car away. So it was a mess. And so right after, and of course, so the police are called. So thankfully, one of Michael's friends who was at Mike and Allie's friends or something, I don't even really know how I didn't know these people, but they were at the housewarming party, and so they saw the accident happen because they were walking to the train station. So they saw the accident happen, so they called the police, and then actually just ran back to Mike and Allie's house and got Michael and said, dude, your family was in a crash, you need to come. And so that was nice that Michael, you know, Michael kind of came and put an abrupt ending to his housewarming party, but he did come. And so the police came, and then tow trucks, and then an ambulance, and all this stuff. So the ambulance, and of course at first we didn't think anything was wrong with us. We were like, you know, yeah, we're a little banged up. Mom wasn't banged up because she actually got knocked to the ground when she was trying to exit the car. And I just thought, you know, maybe I have like a headache or whatever, but it's, you know, I don't want to go to the hospital. We're all the way up here in Chicago. I just want to go home. So we spend about like an hour and a half after talking to the police and getting the car towed off. And it was a sad moment for all of us because Mom's there, I'm there, Allie's there, and we all had owned the Bug, and we all have this like strong connection to the Volkswagen. I mean, even though the car had sucked and like there was a lot of things wrong, you know, like it was time to go with the Volkswagen, but we didn't think that that was going to be the way that it happened. And so when they took it up on because they had to get a chain to tow it, obviously because it wasn't drivable, but they also had to get, it was stuck underneath the truck, so they had to kind of pull it apart, and so that was kind of a lot. So we watched it go up there, and Allie said, I have so many feelings right now, but some of them are attached to the fact that the Bug is leaving. I was like, I know, this is terrible. So that was fine. So Mom and I, we just get into the truck, and you know, Dad drives us home, and we didn't get about, we stopped about an hour later, you know, to get a drink or go to the bathroom, whatever. And I said, Mom, I do not feel well. I said, like, this really is hurting. She says, I know, me too, but let's try to take some, let's just take some time and I'll try to get home. Okay. So this happened on a Sunday night. It was like Sunday, the accident happened maybe around 4 or 5. So on Monday, the next morning, you know, I'm calling my insurance company and whatever, because it was unclear. The woman who was responsible could not produce a current insurance card. So that was probably why she was trying to run. So I'm talking to the insurance people, and they say, you know, you should probably go to the doctor, just get checked out just to make sure that nothing's wrong. You know, you never know. I was like, okay, that's fine. So I had texted Mom, and I said, Mom, I think, you know, we should probably go to the doctor. She says, okay, I'll come pick you up. You know, that's fine. You know, like, other than bumps and bruises, but okay. And I said, you know, my neck is really stiff. So, all right. So, we go to convenient care, and I couldn't stand up long enough to really check in at the desk. You know, I said, I have to go sit down. So I was like quickly going downhill. So they take us back, they put us in a room, and Mom's like, oh, are you okay? So, I'm like, yeah, sure. I was like, I just really can't move my neck. And so Mom's like, great. And I was like, no, I can move it. Look. And she goes, no, those were just your eyes that are moving. I was like, no, I'm going to move it. Watch. Is it moving? Is it moving? No. So, they took me for x-rays, and I couldn't stand up long enough for them to get proper x-rays because they were trying to get like the top of my neck, and I couldn't stand up, you know, so I kept saying I really just want to sit down, and I couldn't move my head because they want you to open your mouth, and I couldn't open my mouth all the way, so I was just really, oh, it was a hot mess, and so they take me back in a wheelchair because I wasn't able to walk any longer. And then the convenient care doctor had given me some shots, you know, like a shot of muscle relaxers and a shot of pain medication, you know, right in the bud, of course. And I was still struggling a lot. Oh, he inspected Mom, and Mom's fine. I mean, Mom's like a champion. She didn't have any neck injury or anything. Like, she really just had a bunch of bruises from being knocked over. And I kept saying to her, I was like, why don't you feel worse? Like, she's like, oh yeah, oh, I can't move my neck either. And I was like, really? She's like, no, I'm fine. So, whatever. So after the x-rays, you know, I'm kind of sitting there, and I'm thinking, and the doctor's going over my x-rays with me, and he's saying, you know, it's a little bit unclear, the results, you know, what do you want to do? And I was like, I really just, like, I need to lie down. I don't feel well. Like, I just want to go to sleep. And he's like, okay. So then they had me lie down, and then he was like, you know, I think we might be done. Like, because I wasn't able to feel better. He's like, you should be feeling better. We gave you a lot of medication. Like, this isn't working. He's like, you're done. He's like, I really think you got to go to the emergency room. And I was like, okay. Then I was like, let me just really, and then I was like really quite out of it. So I got to take a little, an ambulance ride from convenient care, which is in another location, back to the hospital where I work. So I probably could have just walked over there from my office, saved an ambulance ride. But anyway, so I went into the emergency room, and they were able to give me much stronger medications and determined that I have whiplash. And I kept saying my head hurts, like it's the weirdest headache ever. It physically hurts right here. And the doctor said, well, that's probably because that's where your brain slammed into the front of your skull. So that just what you wanted to hear. But they were able to give me Vicodin and Percocet and then this other medication, and you know, and pretty much told me, you're going to be in a lot of pain. You know, your brain is hurting, literally. And you know, your neck is all sore. So, I went home, but we went to pick up the medications, and I said to Mom, I was like, Mom, do you know how much I could sell these for? Like, so even, you know, I was feeling good. Anyway, so I was off work for, like 4.5 days. I went to work half day on Friday, and it was still really hard to be in the light, so I was wearing my sunglasses all day, when I was inside. But it was quite a lot, and we're still sort of dealing with, so my insurance company is paying for all of my medical expenses, which is great. But there's this big fight. So the woman, the car had insurance, but she wasn't on that policy, and it's like a shady insurance company anyway. So they're like, well, we don't know if we're going to cover this, which is just more annoying, because if they were going to cover it, okay, fine, whatever. But because they're not saying yes, they're not saying no. But if she didn't have insurance at all, my insurance would pay, and because it would be like an uninsured claim or whatever, or, you know, like everybody has to have insurance to pay for people who don't have insurance. But because there's this weird in-between yes-no situation of whether they are going to cover it, they're not going to cover it, my insurance won't kick in, but this insurance company is not paying, and they won't give me a time frame. So, I mean, not that I wanted a whole bunch of things, but I just, you know, not that the bug was worth a lot of money, but it was getting me from here to there, and, you know, it was working. So, a little something, but I know, I mean, anyway, but look at how much better my neck is doing, so I can, like, move it this way, ooh, ow, that way, and oh, that way. So it is much, much better. I actually, oh, here's another thing. I know this is like the longest, craziest story. Not really long and crazy, but I'm buying a new car. I just have to pick one, so get excited about that. What was I saying? Oh, so I went tonight, for the very first time, to a chiropractor, because they said that might help you feel better with some of the stiffness and whatnot. So I decided to try it. I'd kind of always wanted to try it for my lower back pain, but I thought, all right, if it's going to be covered under my medical insurance, you know, and with this car thing, I'll give it a go. You know, it was kind of, all right, but I think that it actually worked. I mean, he did, he had, and I was a little bit afraid, and I don't know whether I like it or don't like it, the fact that he didn't tell me what he was doing. He just kind of, because he had me lie. He did some things where he just pressed on my back, and it popped, and that felt kind of good. Had me lie on my back, and then he took my neck, and like, which when he did it one direction, I was like, oh, and then he goes, okay, now I'm just gonna do it this other direction, and then there were like multiple cracks, and I thought, oh my, but I think it might be working. So now I see why people go all the time. I don't know. I'm supposed to go back and get it all checked out or whatever, see how it comes along. I don't know. But anything, if I can get a little bit more movement back or something, I mean, have it not hurt quite as much, I'm a big fan. But anyway, all right, let's wrap it up. So that is the story of, I got in a car accident, and so if you don't see the little butt, I mean, I don't even remember when I had my very last, you know, my last vlog from Inside the Bug where you could see all the blue inside and all that stuff. So I'm gonna miss the bug, but I'm fine. Mom's like ready to do cartwheels and stuff. She's great. And so, but that's what happened. So be careful, don't text and drive. And if you do hit someone, don't hit them again. Don't do it. Like, don't do it. So when I told someone, I was like, I don't always get hit by a car, but when I do, it's by a crazy person who reverses and does it again. So anyway, but I'm fine. It really, Mom and I were talking, it could have been way, way worse. So we could have been the first people in line. Dad couldn't have been in front of us. And then we would have been pushed into oncoming traffic and, like, you know, really been bashed up a lot worse. So, I mean, other than some, you know, This car accident was just a big pain in my neck, but it's fine. So I'm thankful that nothing else happened. But yeah, so that's my story. I hope that you all are well and can move your necks normally, and I'll see you later.